Modern life. Between careers, kids, and health, it can be mayhem. That's why we're here. I'm Dr. Lisa Varghese-Kroll.
And I'm Dr. Lonray Falusi. We're physicians, moms, and longtime friends who break it all down for you. Wondering how to juggle all the balls and still stay sane? Looking for advice but don't want to be overwhelmed?
Curious about how to make the most out of life for your family but enjoy it at the same time? You're in the right place. Welcome to Health and Home with the Hippocratic hosts.
On this episode, we're talking about a major epidemic, loneliness. Why is it a worsening problem? How does it damage our health? And what can we do about it? Keep listening for all this and more. And consider this episode a virtual hug from us to you. Hey, Lise.
Hey, Lon. It's always great to be chatting on the pod with you.
Girl, same. Especially because of today's topic.
Yes, we are talking about loneliness today. And over the past almost 30 years of knowing each other, you have been a big combatant of loneliness for me, Lonray. I'm so grateful.
Oh, me too. Me too. But has it really been 30 years that we've known each other?
Yes. But we met 8 years prior to being born. Don't think too hard about the math.
Whatever you say.
Moving on. This wasn't always on healthcare providers' radar, the topic of loneliness, but its profile really rose in September 2023, because that's when then Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy issued an unprecedented advisory on the epidemic of loneliness and social isolation facing Americans and the health risks that can result. Now, some definitions are important. While they may sound like synonyms, loneliness and social isolation are actually not the same thing. Social isolation is an objectively low number of social relationships or group memberships. Loneliness is a subjective internal state that results from a distressing sense of isolation. So you can't have one without the other. Now, approximately half of American adults report experiencing loneliness, with some of the highest rates among young adults. The World Health Organization reports that 16% of people worldwide are experiencing loneliness.
Oof. Right. And so Dr. Murthy's team identified 3 vital components of social connection. First, structure, which is the number and variety of relationships and the frequency of interactions. Second, function, which is the degree to which various relationships serve various needs. And third, quality, which is the positive and negative aspects of relationships and interactions.
And there are multiple reasons why loneliness is becoming an increasing problem in the U.S. Evidence shows that community participation is declining while use of technology is increasing. Not a surprise to any of us. But further, the social fabric is fraying, as evidenced by polls conducted in 1972 that showed that 45% of Americans felt they could reliably trust other Americans, with that number shrinking to 34% in 2023. Trust in each other and in major public institutions is at historic lows, while polarization is at historic highs. In-person time spent with friends has decreased dramatically, while solitary time with devices has significantly increased. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated these existing trends when public spaces had to shut down for safety and people were sheltering in their own homes.
And it's been so hard to bounce back from that, right?
So hard.
And we also know that the number of people living alone has risen as more people remain single longer, have smaller families, and live far from extended family.
Besides living alone, risk factors for loneliness include disability, rural living, chronic medical issues, mental illness, being an immigrant without extended family or community nearby, or an immigrant in an area with hostility towards immigrants, domestic abuse, low income, and being a member of a minority or a group that's discriminated against.
And then there's technology. So, you have had to have lived for all of 2 seconds to know that these days social media, device addiction, cyberbullying, these are all really big obstacles to robust social connection. And the irony is that we are the most connected we've ever been in human history with technology. But social media connection is like junk food. It gives the illusion of relationship, but doesn't satisfy us because it's not real contact.
Basically, there's nothing like a handful of Oreos, and there's also nothing like the regret after eating a handful of Oreos. You know what I mean?
That hurts. I feel attacked. But, on top of social media being junk food, our society really prides itself on being constantly busy, right? So we all tell ourselves that we don't have time for socializing while we simultaneously erode our long-term health.
Right, that's so true. And then there are other issues facing the US today on top of all of that. The absence of public third spaces and public transportation in the US compared to other places like Canada, Australia, or Europe, that can make gathering challenging. The lack of universal health care can increase physical and mental illness, which can make maintaining social connections difficult or impossible. The increasing rich poor divide can result in many people working multiple jobs to make ends meet and leaving them with little time and few resources to maintain connections. And the dismantling of democratic norms and civil discussion can even make social interactions feel dangerous.
So as physicians, we always want to think about what are the health impacts and health risks. So what are the health risks of untreated loneliness? Okay, Lise, what if I suggested to you, this is going to be a great idea. What if I suggested to you that you start smoking 15 cigarettes each day?
Tempting. But no, thank you.
No? Okay, well, this may be surprising, but that is the effect that loneliness has on our bodies. Loneliness literally increases the risk of real illness, cardiovascular disease, strokes, dementia, depression, anxiety, hypertension, diabetes. Less surprisingly, maybe, is that it also leads to broader societal issues, such as decreased productivity and performance. Loneliness even increases your risk of premature death by 26%, and social isolation increases it by 29%. So this risk is statistically similar to smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
That is really shocking, isn't it?
It really
that's
is.
pretty crazy. But the question is, why is that? Why is that risk so similar to smoking that much? Well, it's because of the stress response. When we as humans lived in tribes, being separated from the herd meant danger. There is, after all, safety in numbers. So when we're alone for long periods of time, we enter into a state of hypervigilance. This leads to cortisol spikes, which cause blood pressure elevation, and an inflammatory response, which over time damages our arteries and organs. Prolonged isolation can damage the brain's architecture, increasing your risk of dementia. Have you ever left a really good time with friends or family feeling a sense of relief, like, I needed that?
Oh, yes.
That was your nervous system getting rest, right? I can totally relate to that. And that's what that was.
Now, interestingly, the bar doesn't have to be that high. The research shows that the magic number of friends seems to be 3. So the majority of people not reporting loneliness had 3 or more confidants. While only 27% of Americans reported having 3 or fewer friends in 1990, that number has risen to almost half of us, 49% in 2021. But 3 friends, 3 is not 10. It's encouraging to know that that's not an unreachable goal.
That's so true. It is encouraging. So what can we do to combat loneliness, both ours and other people's? Well, we can start small. Challenge yourself to have a 20-second interaction with someone that you normally would just wave at. A neighbor, the barista, a receptionist, the mail person. Send a text to someone you haven't spoken to in a while to let them know you're thinking of them.
You can plan to host a low-stress event and include people who may not know each other so everyone can expand their networks.
I love it when people do that, right? When we help each other meet new people.
Right.
With old friends, resolve to put a standing date on the calendar, even if it's only every 6 months, so that it's a commitment you can look forward to and plan for. Never end one meetup without scheduling the next.
Yes, and like pulling back the curtain, that is one thing that Lisa and I always vow to do.
Yes.
Whenever we meet up, we don't leave until we have the next date on the calendar. And I think that really makes a difference.
It does. I love having that to look forward to.
Yes, seriously. Another idea, volunteer. So focusing on helping others has been shown to improve your mood and your sense of self-worth. And it also increases your chance of meeting like-minded people who care about the same causes that you do. So if you're passionate about teaching kids to, underwater basket weave, you'll probably love other people who are also into teaching kids to underwater basket weave.
If there is room in your class for adults, Londra and I will join.
Love that.
And also invest, not just with your money, but with your time and energy into social infrastructure. This means supporting your local schools, colleges, houses of worship, clubs, libraries, museums, art centers, and community centers, as these are all places that traditionally provided and reinforced social ties and which still can. Vote for elected officials who support investing in green space and laws that increase public safety.
Mm-hmm. And studies also show that mixing generations has beneficial effects on well-being. So support creative ways to promote intergenerational care, such as, placing childcare centers at long-term care facilities for seniors. And lastly, be a safe person for other people to talk to about their loneliness.
A great book recommendation that's relevant to this conversation is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is a best-selling novel about a lonely, severely isolated adult whose life is literally saved by social connections. This book made me laugh and it touched me deeply, and I highly recommend it. We'll link it in our show notes.
And now it's time for our Physician Mom Hack of the Week. Okay, you only have to be an adult for about 3 minutes before you realize that there is no shortage of random things that we have to remember in order to keep life running properly. The air filter sizes for your house, when your pet's next vaccinations are due, your car's last tune-up date. So here is an easy way to keep track. Enter your house, your pets, your vehicles as contacts in your phone. Then you can record any and all important info under each of these contacts, knowing that you can easily pull up your car's VIN number or the name of the company that cleaned your furnace is priceless. And you can share that contact with anyone else who needs that info with a push of a button.
So that's our show for today. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, other major social media platforms, and subscribe and review us in Apple Podcasts because reviewing helps other people like you find the show. And if you'd like to support us with a monthly donation, just go to our website at hippocratichost.com and click on the Become a Friend of the Show button. We will be forever grateful. Thank you as always, everyone, for listening and for all your support. We will see you back here next time.
Thanks for listening to Health at Home with the Hippocratic hosts. Remember that all views expressed here are our own, not our employers, and all content is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice, nor the establishment of a doctor-patient relationship. Always consult your own physician or healthcare team for any medical issues.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate us, subscribe, and tell a friend. And check out our website at www.hippocratichosts.com for show notes on this and all our episodes. Can't wait to chat with you next time.